Hello, I'm your host, Darshawn McAway, and you are tuned in to Wow Podcast. We have a very important show this evening. Wow Podcast, you can check us out on wowpodcast.me. That's right, we changed the domain name. We are now wowpodcast.me. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about domain name changes in the publishing industry, how important it is to have a literary agent, and are you an asset or a liability if you're an author, ghostwriter, or illustrator. My name is Darshawn McAway. You're tuned in to Wow Podcast. Stay tuned. Once again, you are listening to wowpodcast.shop. I'm your host, Darshawn McAway. You are tuned in to wowpodcast.me. Excuse me, we're live. We've got a lot of changes going on. I want to talk to you guys today a little bit about business in the publishing industry. As you guys know, many of you know that Wow Podcast is all about the writers, authors, and illustrators. I do my very best to get the most prolific authors on the show, give you guys as much information as possible. I've been publishing books for about 13 years now, and I have successfully got book placement inside of Walmart. And throughout the past year, with this particular podcast, I have successfully spoken to some authors who have decided to self-publish. And throughout my experience of talking to them over the phone about their books, I realized that a lot of these authors are doing everything on their own. I do ask the question, do they have a literary agent? Most of them say no. Of course, when you self-publish, you wear many hats. You are the literary agent, the publisher, the editor, and so forth, your own PR person. But I want to explain to people how important it is to have a literary agent instead of always trying to self-publish your own books. And we're going to get right into it. So many of you maybe wonder to yourself, okay, how do I obtain a literary agent? Well, there's a few ways. I'm not going to say so many ways, but there's a few ways for you to obtain a literary agent. First of all, you can go to a website called adweek.com, and you can look for the best literary agents that are active on Twitter. These literary agents are actively seeking to represent you. Now, why is it important for you to have a literary agent? For this simple reason right here. When a publishing company or a film distribution company wants to pick up your work, they need to have someone to point the finger at. If you have representation, they consider that proper representation, that you're certified, which means that whatever publishing company that you're doing business with, they're the ones that are liable for you. Just in case the publisher gets sued or the film company gets sued, and you didn't know that you took something from somewhere without someone's permission, they're going to put you in the lawsuit. But if they're trying to sue you for $50 million, they know that you, per se, the individual, don't have $50 million. However, the publishing company that's representing you or the film company that's representing you, they have the money. So you will always see in a lawsuit, it'll be your name along with the company that represents you. That's why a lot of the film industry and publishing companies, or whoever you want to do business with when you're trying to promote your book, they want you to have proper representation, because if all else fails and people want their money back, they need to find out where they're going to get the money from. Most individuals, such as an author, writer, or illustrator, you guys don't have a ton of money just sitting around. You only can get sued when people know you have money. So if you have $100 in your bank account and they realize that you're just this newfound author that's just getting discovered, they know you haven't reached success, financial success. They know you haven't reached fame. But if you're attached to a Random House or a Simon & Schuster or a HarperCollins, well, they know that they can get their money back from those individuals, because those companies have been in business for over 80 plus 100 years or so. So it's important to have a literary agent, because what essentially will happen when we're talking about brass tacks here, what will essentially happen is this. Let's say you pitch your idea and someone says, hey, you stole my idea, and they want to sue you, and they want to sue you for $1,000,000. Well, 9 times out of 10, if they have the proof that you stole their idea or you plagiarized it or whatever you did, they can take you to court, file in court, and notice that, okay, this person, their bank records show that they only have $1,000. Okay, so you're going to serve jail time, and it's probably possible that somewhere down the line throughout your life you are going to pay for the bill, but you're going to serve a lot of jail time. That's why a lot of people end up going to jail and serving so much time, because they can't foot the bill. For example, let's go back to Bernie Madoff. He stole over, I think, $50 billion. Gave some of it back, a small portion of it back, but they in his bank accounts and all his assets doesn't equal up to the amount of money that he stole. Goes the same way when someone's trying to sue you for a lawsuit. They want you to have proper representation so they can point the finger at somebody. They want to be able to get their money back. Besides, the paradox for having a literary agent, it seems like it's so tough. I don't know about you guys, but to me it feels as if literary agents are being like jerks, and they're so hard to get in contact with, and they're just these rough around the edges people. And it's maybe because you get turned down a lot. Listen, I've been turned down over 200 times, which led me to go to self-publish myself, start my own publishing company, and then try to work my way up the chain to get as many book sales as possible, and then have the industry come to me and say, hey, we love what you're doing out here. We want to be a part of this. How can we partner up? So that's part of my goal, and many of you, your goal is the same way. You're trying to build up your platform to get people to come to you, or if not, just build up your platform and you just be your own individual entity that's doing a lot out here in the world. So it's important to have a literary agent for the simple fact that if you get sued, there is someone that will also swallow the pill with you. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to foot the bill, but it also means that you have a strong representation. Having a literary agent is the same as having a lawyer. That's pretty much, look at literary agents like that. Literary agents, they advocate on your behalf. They're supposed to negotiate for you on your behalf. They're supposed to give you insight as to what's going on in the publishing industry, so that you can make sure that you're going in the right direction and that your legacy is being fulfilled by what you have requested of that literary agent. So essentially, they work for you. They do not get paid until you get paid. That's just like anything. Anyone who's your manager, agent, literary agent, these people do not get paid first before you get paid. Essentially, you get paid first and then you cut them a check. So always remember that. So to those of you who maybe just got picked up and you have a literary agent, if that person is giving you money after the fact, then you have that deal structured the wrong way. For example, the publishing company will write you a check, and that literary agent got you that deal with the publishing company. So essentially, you would take the 15 or 20% or whatever type of deal you negotiated with your literary agent, manager, or agent. You would take out that percentage and then pay them. So essentially, these people, they're supposed to be working really hard for you and getting you the best deal that you get possible. So don't give up hope. If you are self-publishing, by all means, keep on doing the best that you can. Do not give up. You're headed in the right direction. If things haven't happened for you lately, do not be discouraged. I've been at this for about 13 years. It is relentless. It is hard work. A lot of people say no one said it's supposed to be easy. However, I do believe that it's easy. It's just hard finding the right people who believe in you. My name is Darshawn McAway. You are listening to wowpodcast.me. We changed the domain name And I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. See, in business, when you're a publishing company or a podcast, what you want to make sure is you want to make sure that you're looking at the metrics. So I realized that the .shop, the .coms, the .nets, and the .org, throughout my years of purchasing domain names, I've realized that most of the attention goes to .me or .com, and of course .org or .gov. So we decided to change up the name because lately we have been doing tremendous through our email circuit on doing the book feature or book of the week. A lot of people are really checking out the podcast on different platforms, not so much on our website. We just basically have people go to the website, fill out the application so we can promote your book via email. We have a large fan base who listen to the podcast, who responds to emails, who want to be on the show. So I thought it was appropriate to restructure the podcast after a year. We've been doing phenomenal numbers. A lot of people have been giving us a lot of reviews on the fact that their books are getting sales and they want to be on the podcast to do an interview. So by all means, go check out wildpodcast.me. We changed over the name because we're just trying to structure things a little bit more, and we want you guys to focus on the real situation at hand here. And this podcast is all about me talking to you guys and helping you get your books out there to the rest of the world and giving you some structured advice about publishing, about literary agents, how to possibly structure a deal, what books to read on when you're trying to get published, or how you write a query letter to a literary agent or submit to a publishing company that you feel like you fit for. And also how to structure a phone call so you don't get turned down, so you can negotiate, so they can say, hey, you know what, go ahead and send me, your book proposal. And I want to talk more about that in the future, about putting together a book proposal and helping people to at least get the attention of the person that you want to get. And if you never get their attention, by all means, keep on pursuing it and reaching out to what I would consider the consumer, people who you feel will be interested in your book, to see if you can get your sales up. And think like this. I know you guys want to have a publishing deal. I know you guys want to be with a literary agent, but it's not the end of the world if you don't get these people in your corner. Just do the best you can for you and keep on believing in your writing. My name is Darshawn McAway. You are listening to Wow Podcast. Thank you so much for a fantastic year. This is our 1-year anniversary. I want to thank you guys for staying tuned into us and just keeping us positive and helping other authors get their books out there to you. I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. By all means, give me a call. 918-552-0278. If you want to talk, you can text that number. You can email me at wowpodcast@mail.com. That's mail.com. Welcome to the new website, wowpodcast.me. It's all about you and me. I'm your host, Darshawn McAway. It's going down like this. Thank you, guys.